I'll tell you about Stefan. Stefan Clark was unjustly taken. He was shot at 20 times in my grandmother's backyard in a matter of 22.3 seconds. He was shot, each out of those 20 shots, 8 shots hit him. Each 8 of those 8 shots possessed a fatal capacity, which means each shot independently killed him. Lacerating his heart, fracturing his spine, breaking his rib, 1 shot in the neck. Stefan died in a matter of 22 seconds. He bled out in a matter of 3 to 5 minutes. EMTs didn't arrive till 10 minutes later. The officers on duty muted their body cameras. The officers on duty ignored the foot pursuit policy implemented by Chief Hahn in the Sacramento Police Department. The officers who murdered my brother in my grandmother's backyard, who mistakenly accused him of having a gun, but it happened to be a cell phone. After they had said he had a gun, they said it had a toolbar or crowbar. They lied on him numerous times. Those same officers still work the streets of Sacramento today. The same officers who killed my unarmed brother in my grandmother's backyard still patrol other grandmothers' backyards in the streets of Sacramento today. We have failed. We have failed. As a people, we have failed. And Stefan Clark should be alive today. And to make sure the life and legacy of Stefan Clark lives in a positive light for generations after you and I have left this earth, we're willing to bridge the gap between law enforcement and at-risk communities to prevent, like what happened to my brother, from ever happening again. We're willing to talk to police about evidence policing. If you don't know what evidence policing is, that's where you police based on research. So you know what the fuck you doing before you just run in motherfuckers' backyards. Excuse my French. Pardon my French.
Go on.
But that's why we want to bridge the gap between law enforcement and at-risk communities. That's why I talk about community policing. That's why we talk about community sustainability and high quality of life. That's why we talk about inform and educate on policy and legislative change. Ab392, Stefan Clark Law, which hasn't been updated since 1872. That's 8 years after the Emancipation and Proclamation. Stefan Clark Law, the first law ever changed after somebody who's been affected by police brutality. Stefan Clark Law, which updates the use of force from reasonable to necessary. Stefan Clark Law, which is a start. But let me tell you something. Slow progress is better than no progress. And this is a step. This will not stop it from happening. But there are officers sitting down in jail right now in San Diego facing 15 to 20 years in prison because of Stefan Clark Law. You don't believe me? Google it, because that's all you people ever do anyway. And also, another way we believe in informing and educate on policy and legislative change is our Era of the Vote campaign, where we educate, register, and assist people on how to vote. We don't want to tell you who to vote for. We just want to tell you how to vote. This is how to vote, you know. Well, also, what we do here is bigger than what anybody do. What we do here within Stefan Clark's legacy. And, you know, legislative change is big, but what we do bigger, I believe, is providing people with resources and healing spaces. We believe, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. You teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. That's one of the biggest things we do, is we teach people how to fish. Something that everybody want to talk about, actionable items. These are the actionable items. Getting our people 5 or 6 different streams of income. Teaching them carpentry, teaching them welding, teaching them bricklaying, teaching them concrete, teaching them how to use their hands to fish and make money for their families so they can go in business for themselves and not have to be a corporate slave for generations. I can go on and on.
Yes.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Governor Wildstar.
with it.
Yeah, I can go on and on. Hey, you know, if you don't get me started.
No, I hear you. We definitely want an answer that looks at all perspectives. But to zero in on, I'm going to kick it to you, Governor Wildstar, and then we'll come back. What happened with AB392? What happened?
They took the teeth out of it.
Yeah.
They took the teeth out of it.
And then 2019.
But we said slow progress is no progress. You're good. You're good.
I know, but the
He's
people
good.
watching
He's
this
good.
don't
No, he's
know
good.
what happened.
They took the teeth out of it.
What does that mean specifically?
They
Define reasonable. And define necessary. Hold
They made it less
on. Hold on. Yes. Because if you go to court and you say, I feared for my life, right? Let's say that. Let's say that. Oh, my mama.
Yeah. You're a police
Let's say,
officer and
yeah,
you
my mama.
say-
We police officers. We think you come at us. We shoot your bitch ass. I mean, not sorry.
Right.
Hypothetically speaking,
You got my
you coming at us.
hypothetical bitch ass.
Yeah,
Shot.
your bitch ass get shot now. We think, oh shit, Wildstar,
Right.
pow, we kill you. Now we take our little the IA, internal affairs. You know, that's like the internal affairs sit us down 2 days later because they don't wait till the day. You know, you don't get interviewed the day of when you're a cop. They interview my brother's killers days after, so we had time to get our story together.
Right.
Okay. Oh well, I think I seen this bitch ass nigga coming up with a gun, Wildstar, and I was scared for my life. I feared for my life. But what if he had in his phone? I don't know, look like a gun. Then let's say you just had a pair of keys.
Okay.
Well, the reflection from his keys hit my eyes. You remember the reflection from the keys hit your eyes?
Absolutely.
And then it looked like a light and it looked like a gun light was shot at, right? Then I was scared. Wasn't you scared? This nigga tried to kill us.
Yeah.
Now listen. No, right? It sounds weird.
That's what cops can say to get off.
Because you can't define what's reasonable and necessary when I feared for my life, can you?
Right.
I just told you I feared for my life, right?
Right.
Now what's reasonable to that? I'll wait. I got time.
And you were saying AB392 was
Took out the teeth because now you're in court and you have to not only fight that, you have to define that, you have to argue that. You have to argue reasonable and necessary to a person who just told you they ain't afraid for their life.
Right.
I just told you I feared for my life because the reflection of those keys looked like a gun to me now. Now, if I'm lying, I'm dying and I ain't dead yet. God strike
criminal investigators corroborate with the story.
Yeah. And I'm IA. I'm not finna double down on that. I'm not finna say, well, explain how the fuck the keys look like a reflection.
Right.
And you're saying the original text of AB392 would
Took
have
out
changed it, so police officer would now have to prove
It would have made it more strict. It would have made it more
to
strict.
me, it's more about accountability because
It is.
the Democratic legislators that we've allowed to create this law, as well as our Democratic governor, Gavin Newsom, signing it into law, pretty much went along with the unions and the police unions that wanted to water down the
Black
bill.
Lives Matter put out their support.
Exactly. As well as I believe your family.
ACLU.
Yes.
No. We kept our support in it. The reason we kept our support is because, like I said, slow progress is better than no progress. So we believe that getting this done in the legacy of Stephon Clark law, is bigger on his legacy than anything. You know, the law. Emmett Till doesn't have this. Eric Garner, Tim Ray, they all deserve their own laws based on how unjustly they were killed and murdered. Yes, Stephon Clark is the first. We cannot take the importance piece out of Stephon Clark law. Stephon Clark law is a start, you see. And I believe when we're fighting this system, you know, they don't even want to give us crumbs sometimes, it feels like.
No.
Sure. But would it be good to have the original text?
It would be fucking great. Okay, it would be past amazing. But if I told you that, I would feel like I'm asking for too much.
Hey, but you're
Because
not.
I know I'm not. But these people are bought out by police unions.
Right.
Police unions have money.
Right.
ACLU ain't giving them motherfuckers no money. I ain't giving them no money. Clark family ain't paying shit to nobody to get. I'm not paying no lobbyists. Police unions have a lot of money. District Attorney Anne-Marie Schubert, the lady who Carol Baskins, she received over $250,000 from police unions throughout her entire tenure of being DA. Not only that, did she receive all that money, she has never prosecuted any officer of a police killing of an individual ever in her tenure.
And the original text, you feel, would have changed things substantially. Not made them perfect. The original text would have helped. There were three major things I think it did. One was it removed the officer.
We, the black delegation, say yes. The original, the original proposal of AB392
Perfect.
would have probably prevented a lot more deaths. But we took SB 230. See, we compromised. We said, you know, give us SB 230, which had the police training. Remember that? The police training, SB 230.
Right.
And then when we compromised, when we said, okay, give us better, because the police said training.
Sure.
Okay, so we said, we'll take that, we'll take this.
Right.
So once we compromised with the SB 230, the conversation changed, brother. That whole conversation that we were talking about, the original, that all changed. All that changed. And people don't understand when I got into politics, it broke my heart, honestly, because I was like, my brother just died. And y'all sitting here. I couldn't believe it. Like, I could not believe it that you wouldn't just pass this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once I realized how powerful police unions were, and how I don't have that type of money or power or backup or your power, there's a power and strength in numbers.
Oh yeah.
When I see these law enforcement officials, they're organized. They have a uniform. They have a code of conduct. They have a structure. They have an institution. And my brother just died, and this institution is fighting against the legacy of my brother, full-fledged. And the people that are with me are saying, like, we got to compromise. And I'm sitting there like, for what? What the fuck is the training going to do? How you going to... It's common sense, goddammit. You should know a difference between a gun and a cell phone. Ain't no training in the world could help that. And they looking at me like I'm crazy. They're like, no, you don't get it. No, they looking at... He just don't get it.
Yeah.
He just, this boy crazy. He's grieving. That's what they threw at me.
I saw that.
He's
I
grieving.
saw
This boy don't know
yeah.
shit.
I saw the documented interview.
And
I saw that. Yeah.
And I took it and I said, you know what? Y'all wrong. You guys are wrong. I felt it. You know when you feel something? When you feel like, but you like, you know what? I'm just gonna take it. Because what I noticed, and me and Walter had this conversation, and it's kind of like how I decided to become a libertarian. And I seen the Democrats fuck over us for generations. And I said, oh my goodness, these Dixiecrats, how they started the Ku Klux Klan. These fucking Dixiecrats. How they want to say the party switched. Jim Crow laws, the Dixiecrats. These Democrats are responsible for the rising rents. The Democrats are responsible for the wealth gap. The Democrats are responsible for a lot of shit that they don't take no accountability for or they don't own up to at all. And we just sit there and we kiss their ass behind social equity and change and justice and peace and all that bullshit. Those are talking points, damn it. Right. And I watch how the Dixiecrats painted the Republicans as a dirty word. Well, this is the California Republic for a reason, right? Mm-hmm. Huh? Ain't this the California Republic?
Yes,
the Republic
sir.
of California? Am I?
You're
okay,
right.
Martin Luther King was a Republican, right?
True.
James Brown said loud, I'm black and I'm proud. He did vote for Nixon and believed in capitalism, right? I mean, let's be honest.
That's true.
Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, Obama's favorite president. Your favorite president was a what? I love you. You know what I mean? But they were. They all had that mindset. God, family, country. Right? Simple.
Yeah.
Simple. It's fucking simple. It's not hard to figure out. It's God, family, which means you better look like me.
Right. Country.
America. Now, that is, if we're talking about the Bible, the Constitution, and my family, that is, if we're talking about conservatism, right? The Bible Belt, the Rest Belt, we're talking about hardworking Americans. We're talking about people who care about God, their family, food on their table, and their country, right? Now let's talk about people who say, well, see, that's the spirit moving.
Well, let me ask
you see when the spirit move? You see when the spirit is moving? That means I gotta shut the fuck up. Look.
Let me
Look, the spirit is moving. Somebody said, man, you gotta run the president, bro.
We're starting to talk about the Democrats, and then the phone knocked out, and I was like, oh.
Right.
Is that a sign?
Let me stop. I can't talk about the Democrats now.
Well, but isn't this what happened? You have a Democratic-controlled legislature. In 2018, they had the opportunity to pass Ab392 as it was originally written. They said, oh, we ran out, couldn't do it. Then you go to 2019, and they have the law, and then right before they pass it, they pull out the major provisions that said that officers have to show that their life was being threatened. They had to show that they made an attempt for a peaceful resolution. and they had to show that there was no alternative but to take a life, and if they couldn't do that, it's automatic homicide charges. The Democratic Party in California ripped all that out and then said, this is a great day for justice, and the governor signed it, and all of the top African-American Democrats backed that up, even knowing that BLM and Dr. Calors pulled out their support of it. Can't we call that a trick, or is that fair play?
It was. It was a dirty trick. I think they did it on purpose, though. Oh, no. Yeah, my bad. It was more of the same old virtue signaling that the Democratic Party does to pretty much keep us complacent as a voting bloc, to make it seem like that they're helping. So it was another dirty trick. And it's unfortunate that we fell for it enough to think that it's going to prevent black people from getting shot and killed by police officers. You know, we'd be naive to think otherwise.
Big on it.
But it also gives us the groundwork to, like he said, hold them accountable. But it's up to us to do that. We can't be reliant upon these politicians to do it, obviously, or these prosecutors, whether it's the attorney general or the district attorney or whatever the case may be. You know, because if they're afraid of biting the hand that feeds them and make sure that they have the funding that they need to stay in office, to stay in power, to feed that egocentric, narcissistic part of them, then we won't see any changes.
That part.
We have to be the ones to say, hey, we demanded this from you, and you should have never started blacking out lines of this law. You should have passed it in its totality.
Did your job.
And we're going to say that either you do this or we're going to kick you out of that position.
You got to go.
And with regards to making a stand and coupling it with the push to secede,
because we got to,
is because let's say if you have one of these fatal shootings happen again, and it becomes a matter of national tragedy.
Which it will.
Right.
You see the spirit moving?
I saw it.
You see the spirit moving?
What is the Department of Justice going to do?
Nothing.
Are they going to hold
No.
the law enforcement personnel here in the state accountable? No, exactly.
Speak on it.
So we got to put our foot down. And to me, like what's happened with the killing of George Floyd, it was that nail in the coffin.
8 minutes, 46 seconds.
Yeah. It was that final straw. And that's what Stephon...
His last words was calling out for his mama. Yeah. They put that... They imagine... you know, sometimes I kneel and I pray before I go to bed. I say my prayers every night until my mouth fall off. I pray long and hard. Sometimes my knees burn. Now imagine a man's neck being your cushion as you take your prayers, because as you pray every night, you gotta pray for everybody. You gotta pray for mama, daddy, the cousins, the enemies, everybody. That takes forever. Now imagine that whole 9-minute prayer. A man's neck is your cushion. And as that man's neck is your cushion is calling out for mama, mother. Now, I'm a man, just like you, Wildstar. And to call out for my mama, who died years ago.
Right. His mother had already was dead. Yeah. So it's still going on.
The nation saw it. That's why, when people got upset that George Floyd's family raised $14 million off GoFundMe and all that, I said, who gives a fuck? The nation got upset with what they saw. And as the America, we don't know how to cope with shit. So what do? We put it on our pocketbooks, right? We say, it's like when Daddy used to be gone for years. He come back on Christmas, what do? Buy all the Christmas presents, bring out his pocketbook, right?
You can't throw money.
You can't throw, woo!
Yeah.
You can't throw money.
You cannot throw money at problems.
Yeah. You need real reform.
You need real reform. And you need actionable items in a way where they're going to address the community sustainability.
Exactly.
And when you say you're going to improve the quality of life, how? How?
Right.
Tell me how you're going to improve the quality of life. How are you going to give us more resources? How are you going to bridge the gap? How are you going to inform and educate us in a way where that we're thinking for ourselves and fishing for ourselves? We don't need government. We can't sustain for government. And we're able to take our family from one class to another class in less than 20 years.
Yeah.
The wealth gap between African Americans and Caucasians, do you know how wide it is?
Exactly.
Oh my God. We making like $17,000 a year, while the average white American makes like $117,000 a year.
Yeah.
That is unconscionable. That's that word right, unconscionable.
Yeah.
Conscionable.
It is. It is.
God damn it, I ain't T.I. I don't know them words. You know? But I know we've been fucked over. I know our people been fucked over for generations. And you can only fuck over a people for so long. To where they say enough is enough. And we are sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's why I have so much community support. Because the people that support, they're not supporters, they're loyalists. They're loyal to the fact that they're fed up with this bullshit, and they're loyal to the fact they're going to keep their voice being heard, because if they don't be heard, then nobody will hear them, they'll be ignored. We forgive, we don't forget. The reason we don't forget is because we remember the shit that happened so it don't happen again.
Right. Okay.
They got us fucked up.
So I would say that it would be fair to hold politicians accountable.
I love
And
him.
perhaps while much progress has been made, and that's awesome, we get the original text of 392 in, it's a giant step forward. Doesn't make it perfect, but would be
Exactly.
chance at real change.
Right. Make it more impactful. And as I said, we still have to make sure that we're holding them accountable. And that's when having better leadership in place comes into play. And
Yeah, people don't understand. People just don't get it. Wildstar, that the killers who killed my brother in my grandmother's backyard are literally working the streets today.
right.
I don't think people understand that. That's like me going to your grandmother's backyard, killing your brother
Right.
in your grandmother's backyard,
Right.
and saying, you know, I thought your brother had a gun.
Yeah.
And then come to find out your brother just had a cell phone. And then me taking a paid vacation after I just killed your brother in your grandmama's backyard. I just killed your brother in your grandma's backyard. I just took a paid vacation. And when I get off my vacation, guess where I'm going?
Back to the job.
Ooh.
Right.
And I have to watch you walk around.
You have to watch it. You have to watch me grieve. You have to watch me go to jail, go to a mental institution, get ostracized, kicked out the church, be talked about, laughed at, the talk of town. Sacramento is only a city of 500,000. 5,000 of that 500,000 are homeless. But that's only the ones that they've counted.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to watch this man live freely, knowing that he committed a crime.
Multiple, man.
Yeah.
Imagine the ones they don't talk about. The ones who don't make the headlines.
Right.
Imagine how many stories haven't been told. That man today at this Trump rally, he told me today, he said, do you know that police die more at the hands of people than police kill people? I said, boy, shut up. You sound stupid. I said, shut up. You sound stupid. He said, don't call me. I said, you are stupid because you know better for saying that stupid shit. Or you just a dumbass. Which one are you? He said, no. I said, Z, look it up. Show him. Go to www.antipoliceterrorproject.com.
One more time.
www.antipoliceterrorproject.com.
Terror.
Yeah,
Anti-police
terror
project.
Yeah, because we're not anti-police. We're anti-police terrorism. We're anti-police brutality. We're anti-police militarization. We're anti-police corruption. Shit, let's get that shit straight.
I love
We're not anti. We love our law enforcement. It's a hard job to protect and serve. But when you say you protect and serve, you must protect and serve people, not property. And we believe that you swore under oath, under God, that you'll protect and serve the people, and you should live up to that. I'm just